So I've just spoken about how broken our politics is in the United Kingdom, or rather, how fixed it is. I must remember that. It's great. I've forgotten her name now. Ellie. I've forgotten her name. Those politics isn't broken. It's um, honestly, everyone, it could be worse. In America, it's worse because now I follow American politics really, really, really closely. I know a lot about it. I've been following about it closely for a long time. If you have been a subscriber to this channel, you will probably know this because I started my channel for the first 6 months. I spoke predominantly about American politics just because I was trying to, figure out the geopolitical system as it was. American politics is so it's so interesting. Our leader at the time said that the most naughty thing that she did as a child was run through a farmer's field of wheat. I seem to remember. Over in America, their president is banging porn stars and paying hush money to keep. I follow it. It's interesting. And in America, politics is so much more screwed up than over here. Now, just so you know, here's how politics differs to America and the United Kingdom. I forget who told me this now. It's a subscriber, whoever it was, who commented on this years ago. Probably about a year ago, they mentioned this. Dudley Moore sketch. In 1964, there's Dudley Moore and an American guy. An American guy is explaining to Dudley Moore the difference or the nuances between the United Kingdom political system and the American system. And he says, you see, we have the Republican Party in the US, which is the equivalent of your Conservative Party back home. This is okay. And then we have the Democratic Party, which is the equivalent of your Conservative Party back home. And remember, that was 1964. That's how long ago. They've had another 50 years of a two-headed monster over there. It's far worse for them. Now remember, the DNC lost. The Democratic National Committee lost to Donald Trump in 2016. I've outlined the reasons that this happened many times before. But as a recap, they lost because Obama, for the Democrats, who came in 2008, he ran on a platform of hope and change. But instead, they got 8 further years of neoliberal policies, which oversaw the largest transfer of wealth in the country's history. They got their houses repossessed while the bankers who crashed the 2008 the system in 2008, causing those repossessions, they were bailed out, and then in those 8 years went on to make even more vast amounts of wealth with faced zero consequences for crashing the economy. In those 8 years, they added another 5 wars to Bush's 2 that they were in. Via the Patriot Act, which in my opinion is the one piece of legislation that really, if you're a serious politician in America, run on a platform of repealing the Patriot Act. See where that gets you. And by the way, that guy, he went on to win a Nobel Peace Prize. It started 5 wars and won a Nobel Peace Prize. Incredible. There was also he oversaw a drive towards the United States becoming the #1 producer of fossil fuels in the world, and who then offered a preferred candidate in 2016 who promised possibly 8 more years of the same as usual. In fact, probably worse, because it was Hillary Clinton who was the candidate they were left with. When it looked like the public might reject her, though, in favour of a left candidate in 2016, a populist left candidate, Bernie Sanders, instead of moving left, they instead, of course, decided to rig the primary in favour of Hillary Clinton, of which WikiLeaks proved. And Hillary Clinton, of course, went on to lose to a populist right candidate, Donald Trump, when possibly she was the only person in America in the DNC or any other party that could have lost to him. So any other party apart from the Republicans, of course. So, do you think, this is 3 years ago, remember, do you think that they've changed their ways? Well, 3 years after losing to Donald Trump, the establishment Democrats are still blaming everybody else, rather than themselves. They, of course, blamed WikiLeaks with their stupid lawsuit, which was thrown out of court. By the way, that lawsuit did serve one purpose, and did serve the purpose that is the start of the rumour that Joseph Mifsud was dead. That's where that rumour started. Yeah, there's something that they don't tell you on the mainstream media. They, of course, also blamed Russia for 3 years. They blamed the FBI for the blame James Comey, of course, because he reopened the investigation into Hillary's 33,000 emails, and jumped to his defence when he was prosecuting Trump. But they blame fake news, they blame millennials, they'll blame everybody. They've even blamed voters. Both Clinton and Obama both blamed voters at certain stages. And now they're back, the establishment Democrats are back blaming one of their old favourites, Susan Sarandon. Here is Neera Tanden, who is the chief of the Centre for American, the neoliberal democratic bloody BS think tank. I think, what is it, the Centre for American Progress, or something like that? Whatever. She said, news like this is Dean Obadella, who tweeted out, Trump's fine people come after Dayton Manor. The mayor of Dayton, Ohio, needed extra security after President Donald Trump publicly insulted her. So this is, Neera Tanden, who's blaming the far right. News like this has become commonplace, and every once in a while I just want to thank Susan Sarandon for her campaigning, not just voting third party instead of working to stop Trump. She helped him, of which many people pointed out on Twitter. I remember seeing many people pointing out, well, if Susan Sarandon really is that powerful, wouldn't it be wise to get on the good side? But I couldn't obviously see that tweet, by the way. That's a screenshot of somebody else that tweeted it out, because Neera Tanden has blocked me for something I said a while back. But there they go. They're blaming Susan Sarandon. That's how ridiculous the left party in America. 3 years after losing to Donald Trump, they are still blaming everyone else for the problems they caused. Alan Mattei said the people who lost the presidential campaign to Donald J. Trump should have been forced out of politics. At minimum, they should have accepted responsibility, which obviously they didn't, because instead they're now approaching their third anniversary of blaming everyone but themselves, from Russia to Susan Sarandon, as it says there. The tweet is unavailable because she's blocked me. He's absolutely right, Alan Mattei, who got Russiagate right when all the mainstream media in America got it wrong. This was great by Luke Savage. It's absurd, but if you actually believe your campaign was undone by an actress supporting a third-party candidate, then the problem was your campaign. It's so true. I mean, seriously, if the thoughts of one actress can bring down your whole campaign, then your campaign really sucks, right? Now, Neera Tanden, of course, tweeted this out because Susan Sarandon introduced she introduced Bernie Sanders at a rally, who is running for president at the moment. She introduced him at a rally in Iowa, I think it was. And she said, this is the reason Neera Tanden responded, because in her introduction, she said that Bernie Sanders, unlike some, has never been a Republican, or words to that effect, taking a swipe at once listed Republican Elizabeth Warren, who is also running for DNC pick nominee for president, and is obviously more of an establishment and more of a centrist acceptable candidate than the populist Bernie Sanders. This is how ridiculous American politics is. And this is what the talking heads on TV are saying, because MSNBC talking head on MSN on cable news over there, you shouldn't even call it news. It's PR for corporations, and it's PR for the corporatocracy. That's basically what MSNBC and CNN is. So Q Joanne Reid honestly, with chance of, Bernie's not a Democrat. He's also never been a Democrat except during specific times. They're jumping to, the defence of Elizabeth Warren again. That woman, Joy-Ann Reid, has an actual job on TV getting paid lots and lots of money in America. A woman who honestly blamed time-travelling Russian hackers for homophobic posts she made about a decade ago on her blog. I remember them saying this sort of crap in Facebook groups over and over and over and over and over in 2016. And they're still using it as a shield now, 3 years later. The only defence they have is to just shout, Bernie's not a Democrat, smear Bernie and Tulsi, the leftist candidates in the race, and cheat. Which, of course, is exactly what they are doing all over again. By setting... You're still setting the menu there, aren't you, Donna Brazil? You remember her saying that? We're still setting the menu, I think she said. Yeah. Certainly pick the polls that count, didn't you? Like I said, however bad things are in the UK, thank your lucky stars that we're not in as bad a state as the United States. And do everything you possibly can to stop all that I have just described to you, this nonsense of America becoming our fate too. Because the more I look at the way politics is gearing up in this country, the more I can see our election being framed in a way that mirrors what is happening in the United States right now. And that is what awaits us if we don't fight back against it. Thanks very much for watching. Please make sure you're subscribed and click the bell below so you get a notification of when I drop further videos. And click through to my website to find out ways you can support me. Please support independent media. We cannot do this without your help. Till next time, peace and take care.